environmental sustainability, housing deficits, and enforcement of planning laws. Today on the show, we will be looking at illegal occupation of settlements here in Lagos, and we have Dr. Moses Ogunleye. He's the MD, MOA Planners Limited, and he's a town planner. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you.
Nice to have you.
Okay, let's understand the problem first. You know, what is, or how would you define illegal occupation within Lagos planning context?
Okay. Although there have been a national or global use of that name.
Okay.
From illegal to informal settlement.
Oh, okay.
But by Lagos state law.
No, can we start from there?
Well, it's to say you are occupying a space.
Okay.
You ought not to be there.
Okay.
But you've been allowed to be there for some time.
For some time.
You don't have any permit to be there. You took over the space. You try to even organize the space yourself.
Okay.
Not by the laws, not by the planning principles. Usually, that's why they say they are informal. They're just there, you know, a bit by a bit. They are, nobody gives approval, but they're just there. They want to survive. They are city, they are human settlement survivors. And that's the best or cheapest place they could be. So most times, they don't have infrastructure or services. Their sanitation is poor. You can't say you want to do street numbering, even if they have, and their streets are not defined.
But isn't that where the problem starts? When you just allow them to be for some time, and I said something before we started the show. I said dealing and managing human beings is really, really difficult, because at that time they are there. They are beginning to take ownership. They're beginning to take ownership, and when it's time for government to say, okay, we need to use this place, they now make government look bad. So what I'm asking now is, should they have been allowed in the first place?
Okay, there's a gap in that. Not gap in terms of space, gaps in terms of government not taking decision
Immediately, yeah.
Most times they are allowed to stay there for long. I know some of these communities, people who are in my generation were born there. So they also become grandpas. And they've been on for 50, 60, even 70 years. So they're allowed to expand and expand. In fact, there's a word we use in plan. They've conquered the community. And then a few of them even have documents to be there, a few. So and it looks as if usually they are the easiest place to settle. Particularly for those who are coming to Lagos, for instance, or major cities. It's a place they can conquer quickly. Just get a small space, put up something, live there, knows a community leader, bring your brother, come and settle there. And usually, my people who don't have the means, who are, we describe it as the urban poor. You know, they can't afford rent in organized setting. And they are there because that's the place they can afford to live. So, but by the time you put up a structure that is not permitted by law, that structure cannot be defined or described as an illegal development. As everybody will say, even boys on the street, they say, waiting government, they look. I mean, what is government? Why not take action immediately so that when they get expanded and they get established, or they get footed in that place, the population increase. So assuming they were not allowed, they're like, okay, let me even use the word government use. Assuming they were removed at infancy, and
in the board,
you won't know that people are removed. You know, but by the time they are more, the communities are more bigger, they
that's why it makes it really obvious.
And then when they are removed, you know, and there is a social implication for their removal. Around that place, that's why their children go to school, that's why they have their sustenance. If they do, they trade, that's where they trade. If the work area is not far, that's where they work.
Their
so
life
when you remove them,
around.
their worship, if they are, you know, go to church, go to mosque, all their worship centers are around them, and they made friends or they are making friends. They continue to make friends, social relationship for 30 years. So when you dislocate them, usually you have issues.
Okay, still a follow-up to the answer that you have given. Beyond headlines and emotions now, because this is a dicey conversation. Let's look at our existing laws and regulations that govern land use and physical planning in Lagos.
Okay. The key challenge is that, as I said, they have allowed them to stay too long. But there's an history in human settlements. A settlement is like you and I. There's what they call infancy stage, maturity stage, and old age. Even if the community is organized, even if it's relatively organized, it will get to a point to be old. I need to bring it down and rebuild. The one is called urban renewal, urban regeneration. So our laws allows that communities or cities or human settlement, if I could just be neighborhood, are upgraded, are renewed or regenerated. So it's in the Land Use Law or Land Use Act, which is a national law. It is also in the Lagos State Urban and Regional Plan and Development Law of 2010 as amended, which allows government to recreate an area, redevelop it. But there are conditions to redevelopment. And then as you want to redevelop, it should be a long term, relatively, you declare the duration. I'm going to do this within 5 years, I'm going to do it within 10 years. So everybody is aware. So the law says you can regenerate, you can pull down. In fact, what the law says, in section 78 of the Lagos Urban Regional Planning Law says, the Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency should declare the place a renewal scheme. So under renewal scheme, anything good should happen. You're going to do new roads, new drains, new homes, new schools, new community center is allowed. You look for the funding and you do it. Then you compensate people who are going to be affected by any plan you are doing. And there's a reverse of compensation. I'm sure many of us don't know. If government improve your community, you're also supposed to compensate government, and we call it betterment. You know, for instance, if there is no road, or the road is bad, drainage is bad, sanitation is poor, and bringing up that road alone will improve the value of that your property. The law says you should pay betterment. The law says you must pay 75% of the supposed improvement. If your property, your land or your house is valued at X amount of naira, you are supposed to pay 75% of the improvement. Is valued at X, and when the improvement is done, the value goes up. You are supposed to pay 75% of that value to government. Government is not using that word. I mean, that's what you do through all this land you charge and what you pay. What we all pay. So there's a law that guides how our cities, how our communities should be rebuilt, how they should build, they should be improved upon. And ultimately, the laws recognize that whatever it's done should be for the betterment of everybody. I mean, it should be for the overriding public interest. If people don't get improvement, then the redevelopment or the regeneration is not worth the while.
Okay, I'm glad you talked about, urban development, schools, health centers, and all whatnot, housing. I'm going to talk about one that is happening right now, which is the Makoko. I don't want to use the word displacement. The Makoko occurrence, where government is demolishing illegal structures. Makoko is like a face for Lagos or Nigeria as a whole, where people have come from outside the country to visit, to experience, what it is. Now, people are now saying, should it be outright demolition or like a redevelopment, like upgrade? Yes, should government not have upgraded the place, and instead of what did you say?
Clearing.
Instead of clearing the place, I don't want to use the word displacing people. Yeah.
Okay, whether you use displacement,
we all know what is
we
happening.
know that
Something is happening there.
what you have there is not what you have again. Well, if you say it's a face of Lagos, I'll put it, as a technical person, not a good face of Lagos. Those who are there have the right to live in Lagos, to live in the city of Lagos. Is their constitutional right. Is their right to survive. As I said, that part has been allowed to stay for long.
But it's water.
Prime, any land fronting to the water is prime land. I mean, you visit cities of the world.
Yes,
That's what they take you to. Property are supposed to be
like
expensive.
Venice and all, yeah.
And I know 2 decades ago, or even during the era of Governor Fashola, there have been even during the era of the current president when he was governor, there have been plans to rebuild, to redevelop Makoko. And pressure will come, government will keep quiet,
Yes.
Government will focus on that area.
Yeah, since the early 2000s.
And I know there was a meeting in this Adeyemi Bureau Hall. I was there.
Okay.
The current president was the governor. Ajegunle was to be redeveloped. And he got a point. The challenge was that people just want to be sure that government meant well.
Okay, so that's trust issues.
For Makoko, government left it for long, and the current government now says, we can't leave it. Let's do something. How the development is being done is a challenge.
Okay.
I'm sure even those in Makoko want a better life. They want a better life. We talk about tourism. If you are a tourist in Lagos, you will visit the place.
Yeah.
Don't let me use the word MEWS. You will see it. And as a country, as a global city, we say mega city, Lagos and Cairo, supposed to be at par. It's like Brazil, they call their own Lavena. Their own slum in Brazil is slum, but it's far better if you do the grading of community, of human settlement. So, I think we should first of all accept the fact that Makoko needs to be redeveloped. The Makoko that we have now should not be what we should have. But the argument of government is that the development has been too close for comfort in terms of high tension, the power line. You're not supposed to build on that power line. And that's not the only place.
Okay, we had something in Uru.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know that it's expensive to do enforcement. It's expensive. Let's go a bit out. Why should people cross a highway under a footbridge? It's criminal. So for government to even to make sure people don't cross, there's common sense. It's risky for your safety. We provide. I'm not government. Government provide the president, and people will cross under that bridge. So, and I said, maybe government can do is how many footbridge in Lagos will you put an enforcement people to permanently from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So people don't cross. So the same thing happens in physical planning. You need so much fund to checkmate people when they are building, so that I know you're not supposed to be here. So because they've been there for long, they think they have the right. So, and that takes us to the issue I mentioned earlier. If we are taking away people, what should we do for them?
Exactly. That leads me to my next question. Let me just ask then, from your own personal perspective, now having established the fact that development must go on, an upgrade must happen, but what immediate steps do you think should be taken to address the humanitarian concern now? Because again, talked about these people. That is where they live. That's where they do their businesses. You know, they've been there all their lives. Is it possible to be a win-win situation for both the government and those that are, I don't want to use the word displaced?
Or how do you how do you weigh protection of lives over protection of livelihoods, you know, in planning policy? We're still saying the same. We're just speaking English.
I understand. But ordinarily, it's because of the circumstances that we, when I say we, all the stakeholders, find themselves. Such development will not just be 6 months. Government and those who reside there will have been talking.
Okay.
In fact, 2 years, they could still be discussing the necessity of bringing in that. They will all accept. In fact, when demolition will start, those communities will be there to witness. But if you are taking me away, what alternative provisions
do you have
made?
Yeah.
The development is done all over the world, but must be the stakeholder will be carried along. They won't be seen as having their rights denied. And then because they can, but government too can. Government has power all over the world, and that is what they call NIMBY, not in my backyard. Some people will say they are NGO, not in my. So you can drag a NIMBY for 5 years. Maybe it's to take away an heritage, and that community is saying no, this heritage cannot come. Maybe what you are taking away from. So if you are going to do relocation of everybody, if they are bringing them to Bagada, elsewhere, in Bagada will say no. We don't bring Makoko. We don't want them around us. And they will fight. We call it not in my backyard, NIMBY. And they will be fighting that, don't let me use the word, and they will drag that until government get alternative for them. So what should have happened is to reduce tension, is the engagement of those communities. We have good intention. We are replanning this place. When we replan, we rebuild. And when we rebuild, we will compensate you. After all, the law talks about compensation. I know for Woroshoki, government said, I watched on television, I saw Lagos State Urban Renewal Agency, the general manager, arranging compensation for people. So compensation could come in 2 ways: finance and relocation. I know somewhere in Ogba, there's a place they call Uluwole. Now, those who that were taken away or removed from redevelopment in Lagos was brought to Ogba.
Oh, let's go back to Morocco. Remember Morocco?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
Let's go back to Morocco on the island. How were they compensated? What I think I was very young, but I remember that they were taken to somewhere around Lekki.
Yeah.
They were moved to.
Yeah, some of them, you have them in Ilason.
Some of them in Ilason. Okay, yeah.
But the general thought have been that, and I use that word when I'm talking of planning law, the provision for compensation, I've been saying is not compensatory enough.
Okay.
What does the law say? The law says you should be compensated for the improvement that you have brought to that land, not for the value. But I want them to come and acquire my dad's property. So that if I don't want, then I say, so okay, don't worry, government acquire it and pay me the value. But what the law says is that pay for the improvement that has happened on that land. And because the argument is that it's for the overriding public interest. Government acquire part of your property and they demolish it and demolish part to expand the road. That is overriding public interest. So government will just come. It won't be exact value if you look at it very well. So I think the challenge Lagos State government has now is that whether they are able to compensate. If you're a property owner, a landlord, for instance, you deserve. It's easier. But if you're a renter, the option is that you leave that community, and go and live somewhere. And I watch, I see people saying they didn't serve us notice. And I've also heard government officials saying it is not true. We serve notice, or even we serve notices. Because the law for that kind of operation, they're supposed to serve about 4 minimum. Contravention, seal up, up to demolition. So you give time, 14 days, 21 days interval. You know, so if you add everything together, but even before you serve a notice, there will have been meetings and meetings so that we know that but because they don't want to leave that community, and because maybe they don't trust government, and that's the critical one. If they trust government, if I say I'm redeveloping, and I'll compensate you, I won't mind, and then we let government. Two things, communities are aggrieved, but we also say, it's even, you must be strong-willed as a government to be ready to remove that kind of people. Because normally it will come with backlash. People will say, they are taking us away. But it means if you mean well, as a government, you will say, no, I know what is better. Let me do what is best. That's why we are doing this. And it will be sad when they are removed, and government leave it. And people will come back. I was in Oworo to see some of those developments. Some people didn't leave even 3 weeks after. We just dropped. They were still on the side. I'm sure they're looking for options where to relocate. And some people have left. They took it as government wanted us to leave. And then I also saw in part of some buildings are already tilting. So and I said people cannot be living there. They said no.
They live there.
They don't live at the base at the ground floor.
They live at the.
I said, it's even risky. They look like as if we are playing a game. Buildings like this
are tilting,
and people are still there. It's even risky, and it's waste of funds for the developer, for the owner.
Most times this tilting, does it take place when the house is being built or after it's been constructed?
Post-construction.
Well.
The soil will now settle more. Because that kind of a place, you can't use the regular foundation. And you want to rent a property for maybe less than 1 million units or 2 million. If you use pile foundation, it's expensive to build. And in those corridors, those are the things you can't use the typical, the one you use in Agege. That is upland or Ipaja, or even now Ikeja, or those are the things that you have. So, if you want to develop in that kind of a place, you must have money. And ultimately, if you want to rent, it should be higher.
So still talking about illegal occupation of settlement, I'd like to understand in a city like Lagos, where we have a population of over 20 million. Some said over 22 million. The question really is, why are setbacks, railway lines, what is it called? This
under the bridge.
Yes, these informal places. Why are they usually targeted? Is it housing deficit? Is it overpopulation of the city? What exactly, or is it a planning failure from the beginning?
As a town planner.
As a town planner.
But really, you could say is failure of planning administration.
Administration.
Yeah.
Okay.
They ought not to be there in the first instance. Why should you just turn under a bridge to a place you even fry akara or do business? No. So if you doing your business or you live there, as if they go and call them, say each other, they come.
Exactly.
And they put
and they begin to grow.
I saw one somewhere on Friday, I think I'll call the government. It's in the middle of the road. I'm sure by next week, to more than that. I will remember after this program.
What area?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But we went to Lekki Corridor on our way back.
Okay.
And I'm sure they will be adding. Maybe that's where the man is going to. Somebody, I'm sure in the next 1 month there will be more. I will remember. Just so if they were not there, if somebody removed them while they were there, on that power line, under the bridge, the buffer, and that's why look at some estates in those days. I was on the tribunal and we were in Solo. When they were doing Jack on the estate in the Solo, they left a buffer or a setback.
Okay.
Because government didn't use them. Government didn't. Maybe we should landscape them. So the typical trader just thought, this is no man's land. They will move there. So when government leaves, You know, government will try to be organized.
Okay.
This is planning. We plan this place. This is the fence of property. This is an area we can landscape. Because people will see that nothing has happened now, no improvement, they will start. A barber will come. The barber has reduced.
Barbers have reduced.
People grinding pepper will come. A shoemaker or cobbler will come, and they will bread seller. And you have about 30 of them. They will have association. So if you write, and I do that a lot when I say, if you write, the Ministry of Physical Environment will invite them for a meeting. And there will now be concession. There will be intervention from somebody. Please leave them. Maybe local government is even collecting rates from them. So what should have happened or should happen is immediately people occupy such space. We don't allow them to be there. Get them landscape.
Okay.
Put the grains. That's not what they are meant for. They are supposed to be checked or controlled.
I think it's
provide space for them to do their trading. Balance it.
Exactly.
Let's balance it.
But you know, I think it's more of a Nigerian thing because I've seen, I think I've mentioned it here before. There was this video I saw of a Nigerian in South. It was my dad that sent me that video of a Nigerian trader in South Africa, and he was displaying his wares on the just by the roadside. And there is a sign there that says no trading. And you know, the South African said, pack your things, you people, pack your things. There is a sign there. Why are you still displaying your wares there? Is it a Nigerian thing that even if they know that, you know, they're not supposed to, you know, occupy the space, they still feel that, okay, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, nobody is there, let me just move it.
People problem.
Yeah, people problem is.
We're just careless. We don't like to go by the rule, by the laws.
Even if they have places provided for you to do your trading.
Well, I say, I was on the site around mile 12 now, that walkway. You know, even if you step on there by error, even when before Pennsylvania was developed, if you step on their way, they shout on you. And that was the day we were on a site with the Ministry of Environment, and they were telling us not to. The Ministry of Environment parked his vehicle. We were doing an inspection, and they told the Ministry of Environment, please take away your vehicle. Our staff told them, don't you know you are talking to government? You are not supposed to be selling here. If they're here, you will live there today. They claim that space. They want to say they own that space, and it's not theirs. So maybe I didn't want to say it's part of our culture.
Yeah.
So why do we do sign no parking?
No parking.
Yet,
And they park it.
That's where people park. So let's have more enforcement.
Okay.
Let people be charged for doing what is wrong.
Okay.
And let government take the bull by the horn. I'm ready to do enforcement. Though there will be people who say, this government is too punitive. Let people obey the law. If we obey law, there will be less contraventions. And there'll be less wahala for government in terms of doing demolition. Demolition is also expensive. You go and mobilize equipment, you mobilize resources,
it's not easy.
and it doesn't give you a good feel. In fact, we call it negative planning.
Okay.
What we are taught is positive, build. You can redevelop, you can pull down to rebuild. Not to just go there in 1 week or 1 day and roll out the equipment and breaking down buildings. You know? So those are the challenges that we have. Let people obey the law.
We would have to leave this conversation here. Dr. Moses Ogunleye, we thank you for sharing your insights on this topic. Illegal occupation of settlements is not just a planning problem now, as you have discussed today. There's also a people problem.
People problem, yeah.
And well, God help us.
For a city like Lagos that keeps growing, by the day.
We have a lot of people coming into the state every day. Illegal occupation of settlements in Lagos was the topic we just discussed. Thank you again for your time on the conversation. The program continues shortly. Stay with us.